Expedition 33 is the kind of game that comes once in a decade, hence the term game of the decade. It comes, it makes you absolutely obsessed with it, it doesn't leave your mind, you want to play it more and more and more and more and just not stop. You want to replay, you want to go a different route, you just want to be with that game and enjoy yourself more and more, and it's never enough. There have been a few notable games like that. The most recent one in the last decade was Witcher 3, which is a game that a lot of people still play exactly for the same reasons. It's amazing, it's great, it has a lot of content, you can always do different stuff, and these games are so rare that they're absolute diamonds. They're a well-deserved spot at the peak of gaming because of what they are, and Expedition 33 is probably one of the brightest examples ever in gaming. Greetings, ladies and gents, my name is Hyoso, the Bearded Balkan Blabbermouth, and I am disgusting. And today we're going to talk about probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite game of all time, Clair Obscur Expedition 33. And I know, there have been a lot of great games throughout the last 30, 35, 40 years. And me saying that this is probably the best game is something very, very controversial or personal. But I will have to say, before Expedition 33, The Witcher 3 was my peak game, along with Mass Effect, the trilogy, before Andromeda. And these games are amazing in their own right, but Expedition 33 is something that, personally for me, has not left my side. I still replay it offline, I still log into it and do quests and do missions and stuff like that. I just enjoy being in that world. And Sandfall Interactive is a studio that has proven time and time and again that they are gamer oriented. They're oriented towards what really matters, keeping us, the people that open our wallets and pay for their game, happy. And they are doing that out of passion. They're not doing that out of any obligation of any marketing scheme or any deceitful practices. No, they're doing that because they're passionate about bringing us a good experience. And most recently, they have surpassed another milestone, which is absolutely amazing. This is from their official X page. In April, we released Clair Obscur Expedition 33. 5 months later, we've sold 5 million copies worldwide. Since then, your artwork, your stories, your cosplays, and your endless creativity has been loved and appreciated by all of us. And for that, we cannot thank you enough. And here you have CL with her cards and 5 million copies sold. Absolutely amazing achievement. You have people like Smash JT commenting one of the best games I've ever played. Huge congratulations to you and thank you for the epic adventures. You have a saying getting the lap and the sequel, damn it. You have Techno Mage, respect, you earn every single one. Absolutely everyone is congratulating the studio and the game because it is well deserved. It is absolutely well deserved, ladies and gents. This game, let me tell you some statistics that are still in the wind and they're still rumors. The rumor that the discussed budget for Expedition 33 is around 30 to 35 million. Now you can double that budget, you can even triple that budget. It doesn't matter because it's still 5 to 10 times less than most AAA titles. And most AAA titles, especially from that year, have still not sold even close to 5 million copies. So you can pretty much scale to see exactly what the net profit is for that studio. And another thing that I do believe that we need to discuss is that this game is made by 33 people. And I do count the absolute amazing legendary dog that is part of that team. You have these people that are a small group of passionate developers, passionate core team. You have people that have been gathered from basically everywhere that they could to perform the music, the artwork, and every spec of that game. You have amazing and dedicated voice actors, even though some of them didn't even know what they're auditioning for at the beginning. They did an amazing job. You had Andy Serkis, you had so many actors and so many people who gathered and did that magic that Claire Obscur is. And that's what success is. That's what we as gamers have as a success in our minds. We don't care about game awards. We don't care about titles. We don't care about some statuette that is given at the end of a show for a certain game. We don't care about awards. I know that studios care about awards. I know that we should probably consider these things as positive because they do give a little certain of prestige, a little bit of a name that you have won these awards. However, when you draw the line and when you see how many gamers are gathered, how much the absolute amazingness of this culture has spread, you see the cosplays, you see all the music, you see the music covers, you see the undying dedication of people to provide artwork, to play the game more and more, that more and more people are going for that game, and you constantly see streams, you see people talking about it, you see people comparing every other game to Expedition 33 this year, and kind of showcasing how it set a very high bar of what true AAA gaming should be, because Clair Obscur might be considered an indie game because of the size of the studio and stuff like that, but it's most definitely a AAA in its purest and most accurate state game. This is a quadruple A title of every positive thing. It has everything that such a name, such a title should have, and it smashes everything that you have as an expectations of a game. It's a revitalizing experience to have when you're playing it, because you don't get anything that you're used to. You don't get any notable bugs, you don't get any crashes, you don't get any political agenda, you don't get any woke slop. You just get great escapism, amazing experience, the desire to continue playing it more and more, and just pure enjoyment, which is what good gaming should be. Clair Obscur Expedition 3 has set that bar and has taught all the gaming industry a lesson, and we don't care if they get nominated for Game of the Year or they get all the awards they're already nominated. In our hearts, this game is, and I'll show you what a true thankful studio for our dedication does. Once again, from their official X account, thank you from Sandfall Games. We've been working on bringing you a few updates, some of the highlights being new playable environment, new late game boss battle, new costumes, and more. This is just a screenshot, and these three things in themselves are kind of like a full-fledged DLC, because you have a new playable environment, so you have more of that map or another map that is going to be unlocked. You have more late game boss battles, which means that you have more and possibly new enemies, you have new costumes that you can equip, and everything. This is going to be, from what we hear, it's going to be free. I said here, a true game and studio of the year. You're actively teaching the gaming industry how things should be done, and you set an incredibly, I should have said, high bar on what is needed to be a true game of the year. Congratulations, and many remember as you are making greatness with the passion of a painter, the ferocity of a gesture, and the purity of SK for those who come after. And I can tell you, yeah, I sound a little bit geeky, but I am an absolute fucking geek about this game. I want to know everything. I want to know more of the story. I want this to expand. I want to know who the writers are. I want to know every fraction, every detail of this world. I haven't been that passionate about the game in possibly a decade or more. I haven't been that passionate about something connected to gaming for a long time, because this has been like a breath of fresh air that I didn't know existed still in the gaming industry. And if that's not enough, we have a report from Pirate Nation, which is that Clair Obscur Expedition 33 developers begin work on next game, and a quote, "We're starting to plan and work on our next game with many great ideas," and possibly the most important quote that I have read: "We aim to keep the studio small and agile, maintaining a strong creative vision for a unique artsy game. That's our DNA, that's how we work." This is pretty much all that I need to hear. If they keep that up, if they don't succumb to the investors and to the shareholders' demands that we know could be a slippery slope, then we know that they will remain true and they'll create more and more greatness. I think that they realize that. I think that Sunfall Interactive realizes that they could just be what they are. They shouldn't change anything, and they should keep the creative freedom that brought them together in the first place alive, without succumbing to becoming a huge studio with hundreds of thousands of people and just becoming more and more corporate and risking to get infested with propaganda, with narratives, with people who are not really into gaming but want to call the shots. I think that if they manage to do that, they'll create more and more masterpieces. In my opinion, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is our game of the year. It is the gamers' game of the year and the game of the decade. We as gamers, we may have limited casting votes in the game shows, in most game shows, but we cast our votes in a different way. We vote with our wallets, we vote with our time, we vote with what we do on places like YouTube, on places like Rumble and Kick. We stream, we enjoy, we buy the merchandise, we buy everything that is to have in from a great game. We do the cosplays, we go to the conventions, we do music covers, we do reviews and deep dives, and we're just so excited about a certain product when it's so great like Expedition 33. That is how we vote, and I think that based on what I have seen and what I personally do, Expedition 33 is our game of the year. This is the gamers' game of the year, and it will remain so for at least several years, until probably the next game from the Clair Obscur universe comes, and if all goes well, blow us away completely. But until then, tomorrow comes and we continue to play and appreciate that masterpiece that was gifted to us. But anyways, that's all I have for today. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please press the like button, consider subscribing to the channel, and leave a comment to tell me what you think about Expedition 33. Is it truly a game of the year, or do you think there are more deserving games in today's gaming world? Thank you very much for watching. If you do want to help support the channel directly and support homeless animals and animals in shelters, please press the join button and become part of the DiscussThing Guild. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Kelso, this was DiscussThing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers and stay fresh.